For about 15 years now, I have been collecting video games for the Nintendo Entertainment System. And when I say that, I don't mean that I just happened to own some games 15 years ago and so I've been collecting for that long. I mean I was going out of my way to learn variants, study the game library, and seriously collect NES games. It became my long-term goal to get a complete library of all of the licensed and unlicensed games for the console, which according to the spreadsheet I was using is 774 unique games. At my peak of NES collecting back in 2018, I had gotten all the way up to 619 games, almost 300 of which were complete in box. And that included some really big games like Bonk's Adventure, DuckTales 2, Flintstones 2. Some of the heavy hitters were definitely crossed off the list. And then I decided to quit. I've talked a lot about full set collecting before on the channel, but I got to a point where prices kept going up. The amount of space that a full NES collection takes up is pretty considerable. I wanted to get it all complete in box, so that basically 10x's the price. I still didn't have stadium events, so even a cartridge of that was going to cost me like $7,000 I think at the time. Basically buying the final 100 or so games that I needed were going to cost me as much, or probably more actually, than the 600 I had already collected. And really, that just sounded stupid. And yes, I did play the games here and there, but my main goal was always collecting. And I still do love collecting, I just do it differently now. Over the past almost 5 years, I have been slowly dwindling down, selling off some NES games here and there, but I still do have almost 350 games in the collection, and I think I'm finally ready to just sell off a whole nother lot of them and get that number down to hopefully right around 100 games. But what we're gonna do is filter through the rest of the collection I still have and decide what we're gonna keep and what we're gonna sell. So say thank you to every single patron who helps support the channel as well as the YouTube members. I can't do this without you guys, and let's make some tough decisions about what to keep and what to sell. So I just need to get these out of the game room right now, and there are games inside of that box right there. That plastic bag has NES games. There's some NES games right there in that stack. Also, one of these two boxes has NES games in it. In the closet, that one has NES games in it. This has NES games. You can see it. There's some random ones in there. Coming around, oh, there's some. There's some more in this box here. There's a couple right there, and over there are some more cartridges. So yeah, they've literally taken over everything. So now here is everything laid out from the room. As you can see, it takes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 full banker boxes. Each one of those boxes is 32 games, so we have about 180, almost 200 complete in box games here. And then for the cartridges, there's about 100 all laid out. Everything on this side here is going to be the keep pile. Everything on this side is going to be the sell pile. And once all of this is decided, I'm going to probably sell it, consign it all to eBay sales. It's going to be open auctions, and I'll fully document the results, how I feel about it, how I feel about having everything gone. All of that will come in the future with more videos. So if you want to follow along with the process, make sure to subscribe and let's start this thing. Mickey Safari and Letterland. These are the types of games where I'm talking about here where I just no longer have any interest in owning these. Easy in the sell pile. Othello, easy sell. Welcome to the feud, everybody. This box doesn't even have a top on it. Why did I even own this? Here's our first actual cool game, Conquest of the Crystal Palace. It actually has a little bit of value, kind of hard to find. The front of the box is faded. You can see down here it's pretty blatant. If it was in nice condition, I might consider it, but faded box, I have no interest. Defenders of Dynatron City, again, kind of a cool game, kind of has some value, kind of hard to find. The box is just completely ripped here. It's just not in great condition, but this one's always stood out to me as a cool title on NES, but it's going in the sell pile. As I trim down for the personal collection here, I really do want the stuff to be in great condition. I think once I sell everything, I'll be able to go okay, what games do I actually want? And then seek out copies nice enough to put into my personal collection. Kung Fu Heroes going in the sell pile. Clash Ball, another pretty uncommon game. When I was actually doing my full set, Clash Ball is one that was worth keeping an eye open for. Not super expensive, but just hard to come across. Going in the sell pile. Same with Ferrari Grand Prix Challenge here. Another one of these games. Geez, there's dust on the top of the box. Another one of those games that you're not going to come across it very often. Not super expensive, but kind of uncommon. Also going in the sell pile. Kings of the Beach, another game that's just in trash condition here. That's, that's getting out of here. Here's Ninja Gaiden. I think it's just a box. box plus inserts in there. I don't know if this is my personal collection copy. The box has quite a bit of creasing, if you can see in the light here. I think I have a nicer copy somewhere. I feel like this is an extra. It's tentatively in the sell pile. This is another reason why I'm finally getting rid of stuff. I don't even know what I do or don't own. Like, I don't know if this is my only copy of Ninja Gaiden or not. Here we have the first game that I have inside of a plastic case. I don't even know if it's the full game or not. It's not. It's just a box here. Cliffhanger, Sylvester Stallone, another pretty hard to find. I might even call this a rare NES game. You do not come across Cliffhanger much at all. I'm a huge Sylvester Stallone fan. I got to put that in the keep pile, actually. That's really cool. I'll even slide it back inside of its protector here. We'll keep Stallone safe. Werewolf the Last Warrior, and this is actually a factory sealed copy of the game. I purchased this back when I was still doing the full NES set, so getting a factory sealed copy of this wasn't that much more expensive than getting a complete in box one. It's going in the sell pile. James Bond Jr., another pretty uncommon game on NES, going in the sell pile. I don't even know what a lot of these games are worth these days. Like, what's James Bond Jr. even worth now? I don't know. Price chart says it's around $100 for a complete copy. So that's another big reason why I'm getting rid of these at this point. This is $100 right here that I don't care about owning this game anymore. I want that $100. I don't want this game. Something to definitely consider with your own collection. I always say it, always be selling. There's always something in your collection that you can probably sell to get the money to just buy something you want a lot more. So here's Tennis, black box, complete in box, got the hang tab on the back. If you can see there, I put them inside of the baggie. Usually I only do that if the contents inside are actually nice. So this might be a very solid copy of Tennis. I'm gonna tentatively put it inside the keep pile. I need to look at this closer. I do want to get the full black box set. So here's a Legend of Zelda box. It's just the box and it's a clean box. I'm gonna keep this as well for now. Also a really cool one is Star Wars here on NES. Definitely keeping this one. Here's a cool one because it is a first print hang tab copy of Athena. This is the one that doesn't have the splash for Ikari Warriors on it. I also have a factory sealed copy of this, a second print. It's somewhere in there. We'll get to it eventually. And I think I'm gonna sell the factory sealed one, and I think I'm gonna sell this one as well because while it's cool early NES and I used to love collecting these types of games, I just don't really have any connection to this title. And again, I'm sure this is gonna be worth $100+ at this point, so going inside the sell pile. The Incredible Crash Dummies, another pretty uncommon game. It looks to be in great condition. It has basically the entire shrink wrap still on it. This is one of very few NES games that is not sealed with an H-seam either. This is a vertical overlap seal pattern on the back. There's only like 20 games that don't have an H-seam on them. This is one of them. Going in the sell pile. Last Action Hero, another really cool one. Arnold on the cover, just like Stallone. I love Arnold. It's not in the best of condition overall. There's even this Blockbuster sticker on the back, but I think for now it's going in the keep pile. Here's another Tennis, just a box, just another hang tab box for Tennis. Battletoads, a pretty beautiful box, but I have a factory sealed copy, so I have no idea why I haven't sold this yet. Same with this Mario Bros. 3. This is just a box plus manual, I believe. Again, I have a factory sealed copy in the sell pile. My graded games are the only thing I didn't grab. I'm gonna hold on to all of my graded games for now, so those are the only things you're not gonna see from my NES collection today. Golgo 13, easy sell. 3D World Runner is kind of cool. Hang tab box here, but I don't feel like chasing down the components. And yeah, like I said with Athena, getting these early print games, while it's super cool, just doesn't mean as much to me anymore. 2 copies of 10 Yard Fight here. This one's in terrible condition, so that one's definitely going in the sell pile. And I'll hold on to this one tentatively as well, just like the Tennis. And same with Black Box Golf. I'm gonna keep that into the keep pile. Jeopardy, also going in the sell pile. They made so many of these TV game show type games on NES, it's kind of crazy. I think there's like 4 or 5 Jeopardies alone on NES. An absolute monster of a game. Cheetah Men 2. I don't know. This is another one of those things where it's like, does Cheetah Men 2 mean that much to me anymore? Because this is what, like probably $2,000 these days? I don't keep up on the price of Cheetah Men 2. The box itself is pretty beat, but the cartridge itself is nice. I don't know. I'm gonna put it in the tentative keep pile for now, but that's a really tough one. There's just so much value wrapped up in this game. Here's a Goonies 2 early box, no Rev A on there. Looks to be in really nice shape as well. Going in the sell pile. The Bard's Tale, also going in the sell pile. Break Time, just doesn't mean anything to me. This is actually a cool one. This is the first print here of Rad Racer. You can see on the back there, it has the daytime screenshot, but it's in like awful condition. It's all stained on the top. I don't know what the heck's going on with it. If this was in nicer condition, I would keep it. I do want to get one in nice condition. That's going to be something I hunt down, but does it have, though, I want to see if the 3D glasses are in here. No 3D glasses, I guess. And the cartridge is a 3-screw. Jesus, is this even the right manual? This thing's actually a mess. It's going in the sell pile. This one's pretty cool. DuckTales here without the sales banner promotion. This is the variant later release copy. Definitely holding on to this one. Really cool. And here's the early copy of Gunsmoke, actually, which still features the word bar there. The bar scene, I guess, is what they call it for the variant. Gonna be holding on to this one as well. Nice copy of the game. And that's the first box down. We have 6 of these boxes to get through, so hit the like button and get comfy. This next box here has a lot of keepers. Starting with the Karate Kid here. It's actually a first print no rev A box. Pretty hard to find on Karate Kid. Not a keeper. Black box Slalom here. Of course, black box game going in the keep pile. Mock Rider, another black box. Not in the best condition overall, but for now I'm going to keep them all until I find upgrades. Same with Gumshoe here, and these are all actually in protectors. I was keeping these nice. Bubble Bobble and Bubble Bobble Part 2 here. One of my favorite games on NES, a game that I grew up playing non-stop. Bubble Bobble Part 2 I didn't play until way later in life when I became a collector. The Bubble Bobble 1 is also factory sealed. I made sure to get a sealed one of this game. These are both absolute keepers. Here are the Canadian variants for Mario Bros 3 and Mario Bros 2. Mario Bros 3 has the red banner at the top, and on the back it's bilingual. Go into the sell pile here. And with the Mario 2, what actually makes it super cool, so the Canadian release games actually had seals with these black stickers up here, and on the back they even had hang tabs. So obviously this is a late release here. You can see it has the white ovals, but it, yeah, still has the hang tab plus a sticker seal. The Mario 2 I'm actually going to hold on to because it's in beautiful shape, and I just think it's so cool having a hang tab Mario 2. Yoshi, not the most fun game in the world, but love the box art on it. Easy keeper. Pinball here is a black box, but it's not even a hang tab release, and inside, like, it doesn't even have a styrofoam block. It's not even a 5-screw cartridge inside, so this is going into the sell pile. I'll just find a better copy. Pinball's a pretty affordable black box game. Geez, it's actually the same story with Ice Climber here too. Not a hang tab copy of the game. The box is just covered in wear. It is a 5-screw cartridge inside, which doesn't even belong with this box. Maybe I'll keep the the whole thing. Just toss it in the sell pile. I'll find a nicer one. Another couple of Canadian releases here. If you haven't gotten the hint, I am located in Canada. Dr. Mario does not have a hang tab. Still does have the sticker though. Dragon Warrior does have sticker plus hang tab. I'm a huge Dragon Warrior fan as well, so I'm gonna be holding on to this one. I don't need a Canadian copy of Dr. Mario. Going on with Dragon Warrior, we have 2, 3, and 4. These are all very easy keeps. I would love to upgrade these to sealed copies at some point, but they all sell for multiple thousands of dollars, so I don't know how that's gonna go. We'll see what happens. Commando is actually a hang tab box here. Decent copy of the game, but Commando doesn't really mean anything to me. In the sell pile. Turns out we have a second copy here of 3D World Runner. And does this one have 3D glasses in it? No 3D glasses with this game either. We struck out on Rad Racer and we struck out on 3D World Runner. What a tough world out there. MC Kids, the McDonald's game on NES. Battletoads Double Dragon, rare late release. Battletoads and Double Dragon being just classic franchises on the NES. Easy keeper. Same with these here. We got Double Dragon 1, 2, and 3. Easy keepers. Mario's Time Machine. It's a Mario game. I'm keeping it. Same with this Mario Bros here. This is actually a 7th print. This is the small print that was created when it was still no rev A, but it does not have a hang tab on the back. Really nice copy of Mario. I actually need to send this one in to get graded at some point. Definitely keeping it. And there's Mario is Missing. Mario's Time Machine and Mario's Missing are like those 2 forgotten NES Mario games. Holding on to both of them. And now we have the Mega Man series coming up. We have Mega Man 1, of course, Dr. Wright, first print copy box. You guys expect nothing less, and a super nice copy of Mega Man 2. Mega Man 3 and 4, and I spent good money years ago, like getting nice copies of these games. I love the Mega Man series, so. And of course, Mega Man 5 and Mega Man 6. This is one of those goals like Dragon Warrior where I would love to turn the Mega Man series into factory sealed copies. Don't know if that's ever going to actually happen. Next box starts off with another Dr. Mario actually, but this one is not for resale promotional copy. It has a little sticker here on the front. I'm actually going to hold on to this Dr. Mario box. I think it's pretty cool. Little Ninja Brothers, pretty rare NES game, but not one that matters to me anymore. Donkey Kong Classics, another Canadian release here that has the sticker as well as the hang tab, but this one's in kind of beat shape, so I don't need to hold on to it. Silver Surfer, notorious for being one of the hardest NES games of all time. I've got to hold on to it. That's pretty cool. Here's one of the Wisdom Tree games, King of King, one of the Bible games released for the NES. I got to hold on to this as well. Nobunaga's Ambition 2. Full set collectors will know about this game. Late release, really hard to find. Here's Uncharted Waters as well. Both this and Nobunaga's are from Koei, I forget how to say it again, but they're these strategy NES games that never appealed to me at all. Uncharted Waters, though, also pretty hard to find. Here's Terra Cresta, a pretty not talked about NES game. It doesn't even really make it onto rarity lists all the time, but if you're looking for a nice CIB copy of the game, you're gonna have a tough time. And I really did buy a beautiful copy here just looking at it. I don't think I'm ready to let this one go. This is pretty cool. Ikari Warriors 3. This is another trilogy on the NES with Ikari Warriors 1, 2, and 3, but these ones don't really mean anything to me. I don't need to hold on to the 3 Ikari Warriors games. Another one of these strategy games, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, don't need it. Formula 1 Built to Win, another sleeper rarity on the NES. Full set collectors will know how hard this one is to get, but like the casual enthusiast won't even know this game exists. I'm pretty sure this game also has a specific poster or a specific registration card. It just has a big Sega poster inside, but it doesn't look like it's specific to the game. Cool rare game, but not one I need to hold on to. Blaster Master. A lot of people love this game on NES, one that I've never had any connection to or really cared about, unfortunately. Here's Breakthrough. This is an early print no rev box on this as well. Like I said, when I was collecting NES games, I really studied all the variants on these games. I was always searching for earliest prints, rarest variants, all that stuff. So for a lot of these games, even when it's a title like Breakthrough, which doesn't really matter, I still have the harder to find early variant of the game. That was always the most fun part of collecting for me. Learning about the variants, learning about the game history. I love that stuff. I don't need to keep this though. So here's a complete copy of Muscle. I had no idea I owned this. Wow. Okay. Pretty expensive game to find CIB. Hard to find in any condition. I'm gonna tentatively put it into my keep pile for now, but I don't know what to do with it. Mickey Mousecapade. Really nice copy of this game here that still has the shrink wrap on it. Just complete in box. It's not sealed, but this one's gonna be a tentative keeper for now. Here's Wolverine LJN Classic. Notorious for having just awful games on the system. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it. Well, this is unexpected. Here's another copy of Gunsmoke. So I'm gonna have to put this in the keep pile as well, and I guess figure out which copy's worse than the other one and sell one of them. I had no idea I had 2 copies of this. Castlevania, absolute classic. Of course, hang tab box here. You guys know I'm keeping that. Here's my Mario Bros 3 Left Bros. Just a complete in box copy, but I was able to buy this way back before anyone cared about this whole Left Bros stuff, so definitely have to hold on to this as well. Another Mario Bros. This one is a hang tab copy. You can never have too many copies of Mario Bros hanging around. Here's another pretty cool Capcom one with Darkwing Duck. I don't know what to do with a lot of these Capcom titles. I love the Capcom subset on NES games, but I don't know if I want to just like keep all of them because I don't have DuckTales 2. I don't have Rescue Rangers 2. I feel like I'm almost keeping Capcom games just because they're Capcom games, and yeah, they're pretty cool. I think I'm actually going to take Mousecapade as well as Darkwing Duck and put them both in the sell pile. I don't need to keep them just because they're Capcom. Here's Death Race, unlicensed game by AGCI. Yeah, American Game Cartridges Inc. There's probably some of you who have never even seen one of these cartridges, so that's what an AGCI game looks like. Like I said, I was doing both licensed and unlicensed, so you end up getting a lot of these random games. Later print of Mega Man 3 here, pretty hard to find without the offer. Gonna hold on to this for now. Pretty cool one with Felix the Cat here. A lot of people say it's a great game. Obviously, a lot of people like Felix the Cat as well. I have no connection to Felix at all. I'm gonna put it in the sell pile. Here's another unlicensed one a lot of you might not be familiar with. This is Stunt Kids. This one is published by Codemasters, so you get these all gold cartridges. That was a fun thing with unlicensed publishers as well. They all have different cartridge design. I don't need to hold on to this. Jimmy Connor's Tennis gets into that really rare side of NES collecting as well, but unless you're a full set collector, you probably don't even know this game exists. Games like this were just all about the chase, which is a lot of the fun of collecting. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I unfortunately grew up with this steamer. Incredibly difficult as a kid, like basically unplayable. I don't know how many times we just grinded the first level of this game. It's kind of an awful condition, but I am going to hold on to it for now until I find a nicer one. Classic Series copy of Zelda, because of course you have to have the gold cartridge as well as the gray cartridge. Another Canadian copy of Mario Bros 2, this one being the later release with the red banner, and they got rid of the hang tab on this one now. But I'll be honest, I don't need 2 Canadian copies of Mario 2. Gauntlet 2. Absolutely love what Gauntlet is. Gauntlet 64 on N64 is like one of my favorite games. Definitely holding on to Gauntlet. Here's Crystalis, a pretty uncommon RPG by SNK. I've never had the chance to play Crystalis, but it is a game that I did chase down just because it is an RPG. It's even one of those cool games that comes with the oversized vertical manual. With all of that said, I don't really feel a connection to it. It's going in the sell pile. And here's Rush and Attack. Rush and Attack. I'm probably going to get demonetized for that. This is again hang tab box, early print copy of the game. Not in the best of condition though. though. It is cool because it's, Konami silver box, early Konami. I'll hold on to it for now. I need to find a nicer one, though. That's another box down. So the next box starts here with another Double Dragon 3 and another Felix. I didn't realize I had duplicates of either of these. Both of these are going in the sell pile. We finally find Zelda 2. Took forever. Of course, I'm keeping this one. Iron Sword, Wizards and Warriors. I love the Wizards and Warriors series on NES. And this is a sealed copy as well because Iron Sword just happens to be one of the most available factory sealed games on NES. This and Star Tropics 2 were super common to find factory sealed. Hollywood Squares is another game show game on NES because, like I said, they made tons of them. But this is actually the black box variant of the game. For whatever reason, there's two variants of Hollywood Squares. This is a factory sealed copy as well, so probably going into the sell pile, but I need to research this a bit more before I decide to sell it. Kid Icarus and Metroid, the silver box Nintendo games. Of course, both of these first prints, beautiful copies of the game. Both of these are being kept, absolutely. As well as Contra, easy keeper. Super C is one of my favorite games on NES, period. We won't get to see it today because my copy is graded, but of course I have to keep Contra as well. Here is Rygar, some early Tecmo with the hang tab on this copy as well. The early Tecmo games don't really mean much to me, like Solomon's Key, Rygar, there's a couple more I'm forgetting, but I really do like that it's a hang tab copy of the game. That's really cool on Rygar. I'm gonna put it in the tentative keep for now. Jaws is another infamous LJN game. This is again an early variant here, no Rev A copy of the game. I gotta keep Jaws. Here is my first print Legend of Zelda that I need to get graded eventually here. This is a beautiful copy. I don't want to say I'm going to be rivaling for the nicest copy that exists, but it's a pretty nice copy of the game. So yeah, I'm going to be keeping this. So here we go with an extreme game. This is a factory sealed copy of Athena on NES with hang tab on the back. Now this is the second print. Like I said, the first print doesn't have this little splash here on the front, but even a second print factory sealed Athena, this is multiple thousands of dollars. And actually, I am going to put it in the sell pile. I'm gonna have to get that graded and I might consign it to one of the auction houses. We'll have to see, but I am gonna sell that. Here's Gradius, a game that some of you might not know actually has a hang tab print as well. Early Konami silver box. Gonna be holding on to this one. Here's another Capcom game that I almost feel like I need to keep just because it's a Capcom game, just because it's a good game on NES. And that's why I think I put Darkwing Duck and the Mousecapade over there, because I don't really want to keep Chip and Dale as well. I know a lot of you might disagree with this choice. A lot of people love Chip and Dale. Just doesn't really matter to me. Factory sealed copy of WrestleMania with the Hulkster on the front. Gotta keep this. Here's the licensed version of Pac-Man. Pac-Man has a lot of different releases on NES. I think this is the first licensed release of Pac-Man on NES. I'm honestly not sure at this point, but it's not easy to find this version factory sealed. Think I'm gonna hold on to it for now, but I don't know. I'll have to see what it's worth and make a consideration. You know what I mean? If it's worth too much, I'll probably end up selling it. But if it's only worth a couple hundred, I'll probably hold on to it because Pac-Man's pretty cool. Factory sealed Alpha Mission here. No Rev A, early print copy of the game. There's very few of these confirmed to even exist so far on the pop report. This is another one where I'm actually going to be selling it. So here is the most expensive game so far. We have a factory sealed Mega Man 2 no offer variant in great condition. Again, I don't want to say it's the nicest copy that might exist out there, but it's a very nice copy of the game. And the whole point of me selling a lot of this stuff is so that I can finally start appreciating the games I do care about, start displaying them, do stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to be holding on to the Mega Man 2. This is really cool. Factory sealed Isolated Warrior, the last hidden gem on NES. If any of you were around for the Nintendo Age days, you might remember when someone made a thread about that. Isolated Warrior became a little bit of a meme. It's going in the sell pile. Ghosts and Goblins, again, just a franchise I absolutely love. I've played a ton of this. This is a hang tab copy. This is a super easy keep. This is also a really cool one. It's been a long time since we saw Arnold. I think Last Action Hero right around the start. This is a factory sealed Predator on NES, another game that has very few confirmed copies right now, factory sealed to exist. Love Arnold, definitely holding on to it. So here's another copy of Metroid in fantastic condition overall. This is a mid-print copy. The other copy was a first print. So this one will be for sale, but Jesus, I'm probably gonna have to get this graded first. Star Force, early Tecmo again, but this was released at a point where they stopped doing hang tabs on the back. So this is a first print, early print of the game with no Rev A VGA here. Again, very few copies of this confirmed to exist. Is going to go in the sell pile. So here's another absolute monster of a game. Factory sealed Hang Tab Pro Wrestling on NES. Again, like we're talking 5-figure type game here. Black box, factory sealed, I'm keeping it. Exact same thing with Excite Bike here. Factory sealed Hang Tab, mid-production, early copy, whatever you want to call it. But a factory sealed Hang Tab Excite Bike, I'm keeping it. First print, complete in box, near mint Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Oh, what an absolute beauty. And I got lucky to buy this before everyone like started finding out about this White Bullet first print stuff. So I was able to get a super nice copy for a lot less than they sell for today. Definitely keeping it. Donkey Kong Jr. Math, the hardest single black box game to get. One of the most expensive complete in-box games, period, across the entire NES library. This is a gloss sticker first print. You guys know I'm keeping it. And then we have 2 copies of Duck Hunt here. One Hang Tab copy early production and one matte sticker first production. Both complete in box. I'm going to keep the first production and we'll sell off the extra copy. Both of these, not keeping them. Double Dribble and Astyanax. Astyanax, easy no. The Double Dribble is an early print here, no Rev A, but it's like covered in, it's just really ugly. If it was in really nice shape, maybe I'd consider it, but in this kind of condition, I don't need it. Gold 2, because Gold needed a sequel on NES. Pretty hard to find game. And here is the unlicensed version of Pac-Man. Remember I was saying there's a bunch of them on NES? Here's the version before it became licensed. Muppet Adventure and The Little Mermaid, don't need either of them. Ikari Warriors 2, I told you we'd come across these eventually. Taboo, Mystery Quest, Wheel of Fortune, RoboCop 2, and the Blue Marlin. I'm keeping the Blue Marlin, which might surprise some of you guys. I actually have a decent connection to the Blue Marlin and the Black Bass and the Black Bass. Why'd I say bass? So I'm going to keep both of those. RoboCop 2, I think I'm going to keep as well. For now, anyway. An awful condition copy of Anticipation here. There's like 0 color even left on that box, as well as Twin Eagle. Air Fortress, which I actually did grow up playing and don't really have that fond of memories with. And another copy of Jeopardy, because of course. Clash at Demon Head and Indiana Jones. Decent titles actually, but not ones that I care about. Castle Quest, one of few games published by Nexoft. It's just, you're not going to see many games by them on NES. Makes it kind of unique, I guess. Here's a factory sealed copy of Quattro Arcade. When did I get this? Why do I get this? I have no idea. Has CJ the Elephant, F-16 Renegade, Go Dizzy Go, and Stunt Buggies on it. What a compilation. What a collection. Hook and the Flintstones. Now, Hook isn't easy. I don't want to keep that one. The Flintstones is actually pretty cool. I did own Flintstones 2 complete in box at one point. That was, I guess, the grail of my collection back at that time. I don't regret selling Flintstones 2. I think I got almost $3,000 for it at the time, and that would have been like 2018, so. But keeping Flintstones 1 is pretty cool, and it still connects me to the memory of it. Blades of Steel, a game that a lot of people love on NES, and this is another decision you guys might actually disagree with, but like, I just don't really care about it. I have no connection to it. I've never really played it. This isn't an early release box, though it is really nice condition, but I'm gonna put it in the sell pile. Snoopy's Silly Sports Spectacular. Sell pile. Sesame Street Countdown. And here is the other version of Hollywood Squares that I was talking about. So this is the blue box release. The one that I kept was the harder to find black box release. I don't need to keep both versions though. Destination Earthstar and Ice Hockey. Ice Hockey is another one that a lot of people have a connection to, but I simply don't. The Hunt for Red October, and I believe this is the second copy of Safari and Letterland. I think it was like one of the first games we pulled out back when we started this journey. I don't need either of these. I feel like we haven't kept the game in a while here. Hopefully something decent's coming up. And these games are pretty decent. I mean, Joe and Mac and Shadow of the Ninja are both pretty expensive, uncommon NES games. Nobunaga's Ambition #1 there in the middle, but I'm getting away from a point of just collecting games because they're rare or because they're expensive. I don't really want my collection to just be a bunch of random stuff like that. I would rather have stuff I care about. So all 3 of these are also going in the sell pile. And that sell pile is now getting massive, which is good. That's a good thing. You love to see it. We are now down to the last box of games to go through. Finally, a trilogy that was missing. We have our Ninja Gaiden 1, 2, 3. I knew I had a Ninja Gaiden hanging out somewhere. And this box is way nicer than that one that I said earlier. So these are going to be the ones I'm keeping. Going on to another trilogy, we have Lolo 1, 2, 3, or Lolo as I like to call them. But this is a trilogy that doesn't mean anything to me. I know a lot of people have connections to the Lolo games. Lolo 3 is actually pretty hard to find as well. They're just not games I care about. And if I'm sticking to my rule here, I there's no reason for me to hold on to these. River City Ransom, cool beat 'em up game. Definitely holding on to that one. Another Legend of Zelda, and honest to God, this is another first print box here. I don't know what the contents even are. I mean, I guess hop inside and see. Well, the inside is being kept inside of a plastic baggie. That's always a very good start. Wow, first print cartridge and a map guide. It does not have a manual though. Almost a complete first print here of Zelda, just hanging out. Wow. And the baggie's really cool on this because it's actually cut with the circle so that you can see the gold cartridge through the hole in the box. They had to design a specific baggie for Zelda. So you don't have a true complete copy if you don't have the specific bag. I'll probably try to find a manual at some point, get this graded and get this sold, but it's going in the sell pile. I just don't know when I will actually sell it because yeah, that's pretty damn special. That's cool. Tecmo Cup Soccer, pretty rare soccer game on the NES. Finally, we got Simon's Quest and Dracula Curse. I was wondering when we were going to bump into these. Keeping them both, obviously. Here is Konami Track and Field, hang tab copy of the game, early Konami silver box again. Just like Russian Attack, I think I'm going to hold on to it for now. Here are the two G.I. Joe games for NES. Both of them pretty darn hard to find, pretty darn expensive. G.I. Joe is like kind of cool, but also I don't really have a connection to him. I'm just too young for G.I. Joe, to be completely honest. I'm turning 30 this summer, so like G.I. Joe is already phased out as a character. It's kind of like Masters of the Universe. I like He-Man, he's cool, but not really my generation. Both the G.I. Joe games going into the sell pile. So this is awesome. Here's a Rad Racer. I remember saying I wanted to get a nicer copy. This is another first print copy of the game and in much better condition than the one we had earlier. Easy keeper on that one. And Spy vs. Spy is a game that I played a ton growing up with my brother on 2-player mode. A lot of very, very fond memories of this game and a lot of frustration. Tetris, both licensed and unlicensed copy. Love Tetris. I grinded a lot of Tetris in my day too. I would dare to say I'm good at the game, but like I'm just above average, I would say. Like I know how to play the game competently, but I'm gonna keep both of them. Here's another late release Pac-Man game. You can see this one has the red banner. This is now Pac-Man published by Namco, much later in the NES life cycle. The other one we had there was Tengen, and all the way back in like 1988, maybe 89. This one has to be like 91, 92, 1991 on this one. So yeah, much later release, Namco published. Gonna keep this one too. Here's Turtles 1, 2, 3. I do not love the Ninja Turtles. Don't really care about them, to be completely honest. Again, I'm just a little bit too young for Turtles. I kind of miss the big Turtles wave, but I do like them as collectibles. I do like them as games. I'm gonna keep the Turtles games. Here are the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons games. I actually forgot that I had all three of these. At least I think there's only 3 Dragons games in this. Hillsfar, Dragon Strike, and Pool of Radiance. Hillsfar being pretty darn hard to get. I'm gonna hold on to all 3 of these. These are pretty cool. A complete in-box copy of Stinger. Not an easy one to find at all. Early silver box Konami again. Gonna hold on to this. I did have a factory sealed copy of the game, which I did sell, so I'll just hold on to the CIB one. The factory sealed one was simply too expensive to hold on to. I think it sold for like $3,000. You know what I mean? And of course, Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, easy keep. Here's Star Wars again. I'm sure we saw one of these earlier. Who knew I owned 2 copies of this? I'm gonna have to check the other copy and see which one's nicer. Galaga on NES. I've played so much Galaga on N64, played it a ton with my dad. Super fond memories of this arcade game. I'm keeping Galaga. Ending off with Defender and Metal Gear. Keeping both of them. So this is what it looks like now. That is everything I'm going to be selling. It's gotta be almost 100 CIB games in there. It's gotta be. And that's everything I'm going to be keeping on this side. So a lot of the classics, as you saw, and then a lot of games that just mean something to me personally. I don't think I'm gonna keep any of the cartridges. Like Golf Grand Slam is cool. It's published by Atlas. That makes it quite unique, but I don't really play NES games. So if I ever want to get one of these games again, I would probably just buy it factory sealed or buy it complete in box, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting rid of every single cartridge as well. So like I said, I'll make more videos now detailing the entire selling process of all these games, and that'll take my collection down to just around 100 games. It's probably going to be like 130 or so. Hit the like button before you go, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.